Alright, we're back with another episode. I'm flying over to Undasta right now. By the time this comes out, it's gonna be like January... What day do we upload the videos on? Fridays. So like January 3rd? That sounds right. So, how was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
Yeah, they were really boring. I worked both of them.
No, it'd be that way.
Really good.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, so I can't really comment on how I feel about it, so... But Creature is able to time travel, so...
Not time travel, just dream really good.
Right. Do you have any experience plucking greenhouses?
Don't attack me.
You have to say the other person's perspective.
Okay, so, pretty excited about the new year. New year, new us.
New Digimon cards.
These aren't Digimon cards. Anyway,
He's on Reddit, by the way.
I'm always on Reddit.
Oh, right, I have to flip the perspective of this.
Flip the perspective.
There we go.
Flip the perspective, mom.
So now it looks like I'm looking at you.
Whenever you're
because
looking
I
at
am.
me, oh my god.
Because even though my character is on the right and yours is on the left, at our computers, I sit on the left and he sits on the right.
Oh my god, that's so true.
So real and love-filled.
True. Alright.
Why did Chick-fil-A get so many orders? They couldn't handle it.
So, speedrunning.
Ooh, I almost hit the ground.
What do you think of speedrunning?
I was into speedrunning for a bit. I like watching speedruns, and then I decided I wanted to give it a shot myself, and I did it in Cavern of Dreams, a really good indie game, and I held the world record for a short while, and I think both 100% and the all eggs category, but now I've fallen. Alright. Thanks for pounding on the wall, neighbor. Haven't really done speedrunning in a while. Because I don't know. Not really all that, I don't know how I feel about trying to do it. But I'd be down to give it another shot if I haven't already. Go ahead.
When you watch the speedruns, what are you getting from it? Like, do you just enjoy the process of watching someone and like seeing the cool tricks? Or do you like watching them to figure out what they're doing? Like when you see someone running against a wall that you don't think is actually run againstable in a game, are you like, oh, that's pretty cool? Or are you like, oh, how are they doing that? What are they doing in the game to get that effect?
I mean, a little bit of both.
Oh, what a good answer. Good answer.
Okay.
Good answer.
I enjoy watching people speedrun and seeing them, like, get really excited over, like, getting a new record. You know, seeing them shave off a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, things like that. But also I like seeing, tricks being performed. I'm not really a big fan of like, oh yeah, I have to do 20 frame perfect inputs in a row, otherwise I have to do the backup, which costs me 5 minutes. Like I'm not a big fan of like super precise stuff.
Fair.
You know, still a little bit of precision, but like there's some room for error, things like that.
What do you think of like God, there are games where effectively like Sonic has been mapped out so much that pretty much the first Green Hill Zone level, we watched a speed run of it, that's like 20 seconds long, and it's effectively 30 frame perfect jumps that you have to do in a row, and if you mess anything up, you can't reach the perfect time. And instead of watching the speed run, we were just watching the guy's face, because he was so focused that you thought it was funny.
It was really funny. He just, wow. How do you feel about speedrunning?
I like learning about them. I would never do one, and I don't really think they're like if I were to watch a speed run, I'm only watching it so I could be able to write a dissertation on what they're doing and how they're doing it. If I had to watch the same speed run again after knowing what it does, I think I'd just bore myself to death. I don't really find them that interesting outside of the like analytical level. I was gonna ask you a question. Oh right, different kinds of speedrunning games. So like we talked about Sonic. How do you feel about Sonic speedruns? Like 2D runner, specifically Sonic kind of speedruns.
I think they're neat. I like seeing them like break the bounds of normal gameplay. Like, oh yeah, you can actually just like zip and zoom across the map if you know what you're doing. But at the same time, like a bunch of frame perfect stuff. Like, oh yeah, I have to hit this wall and hold down the left button for exactly 14 frames so I can bounce off of this guy and get shot into the sky and blah 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 blah.
Oh, you're talking about Breath of the Wild? Sorry, we're still talking about Sonic. We can talk about Breath of the Wild speedrunning later.
We're not talking about Breath of the Wild. The 2D Sonic games had that as well. But, okay, you're just being a dick. I'm just trying to schmoove, and you're...
Oh my god, do they have the spawn of Horadon?
Oh my god, the spawn of Horadon? You love that mount.
I don't.
You've done it like 5 times now. Anyways.
That's true.
I like the 3D Sonic games, where, like... I think... Yeah, in Sonic Adventure 2... You can run up the walls if you spin dash off of a ramp at the correct angle. You hit a wall and then you can just run up it and then you just keep spin dashing so you can keep going up and up and up. I think that's really cool. I think that's awesome. I did that once on accident. Never been able to do it again.
Which game are you talking about right now?
Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, okay. Sonic Adventure 2 is more of a 3D platformer, so their kind of speedrunning is different. So you prefer 3D platformer speedrunning to 2D speedrunner platforming?
Yeah, it's like a weird momentum thing in the 2D games that I'm just not a fan of.
Would you consider Super Meat Boy and Sonic to be the same kind of 2D speedrunning?
Yeah, 2D platformer, I would.
Oh, we'll talk about challenge runs after we're done with the more generalized speedrunning talk, but like... a Meat Boy speedrun and a Tofu Boy speedrun are very different things, and that's why they're called challenge runs instead of speedruns. But we will talk about that after we're done with the general topic of speedrunning. So, outside of like platformer games, you like the 3D better than 2D.
Yeah.
Getting into other games where effectively the speed run is just to beat the game as fast as possible. What do you think of like Minecraft speedrunning? Where it's effectively just you have a goal, and the only reason why this game is quote unquote speed run is because it's a difficult process to get to the end point.
I'm not as big of a fan of that because like they use the what's that called where they press one of the F buttons and they can see like
the
detailed statistics. Yeah, I do not like them going like, okay, I'm in 2070 340. And since I'm at the border of this area, that means that there's going to be sunken treasure here and blah blah blah. I think the set seed, I think that's neat. Because that is just, they know where everything is and they can just schmoove there, schmoove to the next point, and do exactly what they need to do it as fast as possible. But when it's random, it's just... It gets so into the nitty-gritty and the, yes, I said gritty. Just super technological, confusing, advanced stuff that I'm just not that into it. Move your big bear ass out of the way.
So speaking of, like, the difference between... Minecraft and stuff like that, I can understand you liking the set speedrun more than you would like the randomized speedrun. But a question for you. You like the Sonic speedrun, right? The 2D where you have to like do 30 frame perfect things?
I like watching it, I don't like doing it.
Well, yeah, obviously. But I mean, like, if you like watching that, what's the difference between learning the 30 frame perfect spots versus learning how to perfectly read the coordinates, understanding that in the nether, every block you move is, I think, like either 20 or 80 in the overworld, learning exactly what the coordinates are so that when you throw an Eye of Ender, you can triangulate perfectly within your coordinates. Oh, I just realized something. You might be able to hear yourself.
No, I have you on Discord. I have you turned down to.
Yeah, but your microphone is lighting up. I just want to be sure.
Yeah, it's lighting up because you're talking through my microphone.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, you might be like double talking.
I'm not. Like, I've set it up so it won't do that.
Okay, cool. Sorry. So we were talking about Minecraft. What's the difference between those kinds of like tricks?
I think they're along the same path of complicated. One is a matter of like perfectly timing things. How long? A minute and a half. One is perfectly timing it. The other one is just knowing all the specifics of how to like understand what to do.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure out how to word it. Don't be a dick. With Minecraft, you have to be able to like do all these calculations in your head, and you have to be able to improvise. Whereas in like the 2D ones, most of them, they either have setups or it's just muscle memory. So, but I think they're about the same amount, or not the same. They're both along the same like brain side of thinking.
Are you in your speed set?
Yeah, my speed set is the same as my Mythic Plus.
Gross. I get what you're saying. It's just a thing of like, so I hate platformers, which means that the concept of having to learn the exact 30 spots you have to land on and the exact timings sounds far more annoying than learning how to like divide or multiply quickly in order to get exact coordinates.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like I would view the Minecraft one as quote unquote easier than I would the platformer one.
Yeah.
Alright, after this is Karazhan. It is still.
Means I heart and fly. I mean, if they're crying, I have to cry too. How many kills is that? 54 of 100. Recorded.
Alright, so back to 2D platformers because I believe that this one's different enough from Sonic. Mario speedruns for 2D. What do you think? Okay,
so like the first Mario game on the NES, that one is legitimately like it's a bunch of frame perfect stuff, but it's the same every time.
It's not only frame perfect stuff, it's also like frame and luck manipulation stuff.
Yeah.
Where like you have to be able to perfectly jump into the corner of a block to get half a height higher on a jump in order to make the like exactly where you need to be kind of thing.
Yeah. Oops. Ran into a house.
Yeah. So we've already said that like the more complex stuff annoys you a little. What do you think of the hyper complex 30 years to learn tricks?
Oh, like Metroid stuff?
But we're talking about Mario right now.
Oh.
And then we can talk about like the 3D Marios, and then we can talk about Metroid.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing it. I think it's neat when people are able to do it.
Do
but...
you? I think it's kind of gross.
I mean, yeah, you're essentially dedicating your life to it. Like, I know we're talking about Mario, but like Tetris, being able to just...
I think Tetris fall more into the challenge run category rather than the speedrunning category.
I mean, you have to have fast hand movements, and that's a type of speedrunning.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I don't know why I said that.
Mythic rating is speedrunning.
Not really.
What do you mean? You have to have fast hands to do it.
Okay. We're not
Are you telling me you don't have to track your GCDs in order to do a mythic raid?
You do that for heroic.
No, you don't.
And shit, you'll even be kicked out of normals if you don't track your cooldowns properly. If you are not doing at least like...
Love of my life.
Anyways.
If I parsed a 30, I'd still be top 5 in a normal pug, and we'd easily kill the boss.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not going to do that. Anyways, 102. Yippee.
So we're talking about Mario?
Yeah,
the original?
We're talking about Mario, which I was trying to do, and then you started talking about World of Warcraft.
No,
That's
Batman.
just kind of weird.
No.
There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman.
Continue. You're talking about Mario.
I hate that shit. I think it's kind of gross, just how deep you have to go into it. Like, you have to practice for like 15 hours a day, every day. And even then,
what I was calling gross, to be very clear, was like the trick itself. The whole like frame manipulation and stuff like that. I think that's gross. People dedicating their life to things they want to do is perfectly fine.
No, it is fine. I'm just not allowed to talk. I understand.
You're not allowed to shit talk people. That is correct.
I'm not shit talking them.
Sounds a little shit talking.
Okay.
Shiitake? Like the mushroom?
I hate you.
Alright, what's after K's head? Throw the full. That's a Gadget's head.
Correct. Oh, you're so smart. Look at you speedrunning your brain thoughts.
Can you just continue the conversation?
No, because you're gonna talk over me as soon as I start.
Shiitake.
Just like that. God.
Alright, Mario's a bad topic. No one cares about Mario. It's all gross and nasty and yucky.
Okay. I think some of the tricks are gross. Having to manipulate and just be... What? What did I say?
You said manipulate, funny. I'm sorry, continue.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. Continue?
I don't like the, like, having to hit a block at a precise angle at a precise amount of speed just to be able to clip through it. I think that's gross, but I think it's cool and impressive when people are actually able to do it.
Okay.
Where am I going?
Throne of Four Winds.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and what do you think of the more recent 3D Mario speedruns?
They have a bit more leeway, but like in Mario Odyssey, you have to do very specific things to be able
Mario... I'm so sorry, continue. I'm so sorry. I need to do better. I'm so sorry. Please continue.
No, clearly you have something more important to say than, you know, me answering the question you asked me.
I think Mario Odyssey is kind of the Breath of the Wild of, like, Legend of Zelda. Like,
no, please expand upon that.
That's not a Mario game in the same way that it's not a Breath of the Wild game. Like, that's far more a Mario, like, Galaxy.
Oh, yeah, just like how Mario Sunshine isn't a Mario game. And how Mario Galaxy isn't a Mario game.
Wait.
And how Mario 64 isn't a Mario game.
How does Mario Sunshine fit into that?
What do you mean? It's not a Mario game.
No, I'm asking, how does it fit into that?
What do you mean?
Like, I'd say Mario 64 is a pretty faithful, like, redo of a Mario game in a 3D setting. And I'd say Sunshine matches that pretty well. How?
You have Flood. You have a whole new set of mechanics.
Yeah.
You have the dive into the kick. You have you slide on the walls instead.
Wait, you don't slide against the walls in 2D Mario games?
Not in Mario 60. They didn't introduce that, I think, until New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. Mario 64, you just bounced off the wall, and if you didn't time your jump, then you would just fall.
How do you feel about the 3D Mario games just being a speedrun of how quickly can you get to the, like, Tanuki suit?
And then you can just break the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, no, you have to have the cat suit and the Tanuki
Right,
suit.
the cat suit is just like the game underneath it.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna wait for you.
Okay.
So that you can fly us to Dragon Soul.
Okay.
I mean, you have to figure out a route and figure out where the things are before you can start, like, heavily breaking it. Until then, I think you just, like, play as Peach, and then you float to extend your, super speed. Give and take, I guess? Okay.
I prefer the 2D Mario games to the 3D Mario games because I like the power-ups, and the 3D games don't really have the power-ups.
My favorite Mario power-up is the blue shell from New Super Mario Bros., and I'm so sad that it hasn't made a return.
Yeah. I don't like the Tanuki suit or the, cat suit. They just kind of invalidate the game.
Well, the Tanuki suit is from a 3D Mario game first.
Yeah. Wait.
It's from Mario Bros. 3 on the... God, I think that was still on this, NES.
I thought the Tanuki suit came from a 2D game.
Yes.
You said 3D.
Mario 3 on the NES.
A 2D game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it came from a 3D game, so I was trying to figure out.
I thought if I said that, I apologize. I meant to say it came from Mario 3.
Yeah.
You said a newer game. You said the Tanuki...
I don't like the Tanuki suit and the cat suit.
Yeah, and that's why you don't like the newer games.
I don't like the newer games because they don't have power-ups. I also don't like the Tanuki and the cat suit. For the 3D games that do have power-ups, those things ruin them.
Okay, anyways.
Alright, Mario, done. What do you think of, like Metroidvania speedruns, like Metroid and stuff, where you have to have certain upgrades in order to do stuff, and so people either have to route around getting them, or have to route around, like, how to do the thing the upgrade does for you, but without the upgrade.
I think some of the tricks are neat, like Mock Ball, where you, God, how does it work again? You run at full speed and then go into the ball on the same frame you land, and that just makes you zoom as the ball. I think that's neat. But ones where it's like a bunch of setup and then you can like clip into the wall, I'm not a big fan of that. I like it better when they're actually like maneuvering around and just going through the map in certain ways instead of just, here's what I do, I break the game and then I can break the game.
Yeah. That's sad. I think I need an excuse. We're both tired. We're recording this really late at night. Don't yell at us.
My brain is fried most of the day anyways.
Well, I'm tired, so
okay.
I deserve an excuse.
You took a nap earlier. How are you tired?
I had napped for like 20 minutes. Tell me it's bullshit.
You laid down for like 2 hours?
Nope. I was awake for like 1 hour and 40 minutes of that.
God, my husband just does not tell me things. I'm going left.
Okay.
Because I want to go left this time.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. How do you feel about Metroid speedruns?
I have never watched one. I think they're incredibly boring.
Fair.
I tried playing Metroid and I got to the ship and then I just never played it again because I'm not a big fan of platformers.
I mean, Metroid is, you know, like Soul's level of difficulty.
No.
I would like to know what detail they're talking about. Oh, right, I probably should have gone right so that I can stealth after I kill the boss.
That's true.
If you took the proper talents, you wouldn't have to, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wait, you can Shadow Meld.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Alright, platformers,
Cavern of Dreams is really cool. I think everyone should play that.
3D platformer, Cavern of Dreams on Steam for like $7.
$5, I think.
Around $2.
Okay. 3D platformer. It's an homage to older, like, N64 3D platformers. Really fun, really cool. Okay, you want to move on to the next topic, or?
No, we're still gonna talk about speedrunning. And we also haven't even talked about challenge runs. What do you think of Pokemon speedruns?
The older games, it's just... I just want to fumble.
Continue.
I'm so sorry. The older games, it's just... let me manipulate the game so that I get this specific setup, so I can have a perfect Mudkip with perfect IVs and nature. Whereas the newer games are just, alright, here's how I can improvise with this starter, or I don't even give a shit about the starter, I just need the dog.
Do you prefer the Pokemon speedruns where they have to care about HMs or where they don't have to care about HMs? We'll talk about speedruns where it's literally just code manipulation to like end the game after their first 3 steps when we talk about challenge runs.
I think I like the ones where they have to care about HMs, because most of the time they'll just get like an HM slave or something and just have their powerhouse deal with everything. But at the same time, like, there are ones where, you know, you either set it onto set battle style so it doesn't ask if you want to switch, or they have to, you know, change it for specific battles for to like send in the proper Pokemon. You're so loud.
You can just keep talking.
I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted.
Continue. We're talking
I'm
about
thinking.
Pokemon
Can you fucking calm down? Jesus. Yeah, I like the newer Pokemon game speedruns. I'm not really a big fan of the older ones.
Wait, I thought you said you liked the HM runs.
Yeah. I'm talking like Black and White and Diamond and Pearl.
Oh, you mean like DS rather than Game Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what we would call the new games. I was like 10 when those came out.
You're just being a dick.
And no one would call Black and White a new game.
Wait, I mean, even going further into like X and Y, Sun and Moon, oh my god, that's the model I have.
X and Y I wouldn't call new. Sun and Moon is...
No, I'll stop talking, you have something better to say.
Like, okay, if we're talking about the new Pokemon games, I'd go for the last 2 that came out. So like, Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. Anything past that point is old.
Okay. Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. I mean, Scarlet and Violet, you do just... you have a specific setup so that it just clones rare candies for you, and then you just level up your Pokemon to each, like, level cap that you need, and then it just breezes through the game. But, you know, ones that don't have big game-breaking glitches like that, like Sword and Shield, those are neat.
It is good to see you again, Alexstrasza. I have been busy in my absence.
How do you feel about them?
Pokemon speedruns, I think, are weird. A lot of the time, a Pokemon speedrun is pretty much just like how strong your starter is and how much of the game it can speedrun through, and then once you get the EXP share in games that don't start you with it, obviously, how strong is the secondary Pokemon that has to deal with everything that your starter is weak to. And then there's a whole process of like trying to manipulate the RNG in order to not get hit by stat moves. Trying to always have like the answers to everything, I think, is pretty neat. It's a really like numbers driven kind of speedrun rather than like an execution style speedrun. Of course, speedruns always require execution, but like these are more numbers than execution, in my opinion.
You know, I think I know a way to explain the speedruns that I like versus the ones I dislike. I like the speedruns where they're more skill-based instead of the ones that are just, let me perform, you know, these glitches. Because, like, Pokemon Red and Blue, the way that you break it and then speedrun through it is you glitch to get a level 100 Nidoking at the beginning of the game. And that just kills everything. Versus, like, Gen 2, Gen 3... I'm actually not too sure how Gen 2 works, but Gen 3, like, yeah, you have to... you have to get a specific seed so that you can have a perfect Pokemon, but still, you know, there's still skill involved with it where you have to, you know, play the game in a certain way. You can't just steamroll through it. So, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Okay, so now let's. I think we. Are there any other speedrunning games that we're not talking about? Like Call of Duty speedruns?
I think that
just through
falls
the
under the
main
glitch
mission?
category because you just find a point where they can't hit you and you just kill them, but then there's
Are you
other
talking
ones.
about zombies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about zombies. I'm talking about like Call of Duty main mission.
Yeah. I mean, like Metal Gear Rising, you know, I think if you're not doing New Game Plus, you know, that's just skill-based.
It is done.
Yeah.
Our power resides
yeah.
within the dragon soul.
Battle of Bizarre Lord.
Battle of Bizarre Lord.
Battle of Bizarre Lord.
Battle. Battle.
I will not fail you. I will not fail
I don't
this
like
world.
the super skips in Mario Kart Wii where it's like, oh yeah,
yeah, actual racing games. You're so right.
like in Mario Kart Wii, you know, the one I think of all the time is like Grumble Volcano, where you do the wheelie before the race starts, and then you jump off of another person. Jesus, you jump off of another person, and that lets you just go around the like island thing, and then you just complete the race in like 5 seconds. I don't like that. And that's also a thing in Mario Kart 64. Because I think all but one of the stages have a huge skip on them, and you just do that 3 times. Where am I going?
Do you remember how the wheelie trick works on the Crumble Mountain thing?
You bounce?
So the reason why the whole wheelie thing works is because on every race in those older games, there are checkpoints,
Right.
and you have to go through specific checkpoint markers in order to like have the lap count as the next lap. Because if you go through lap like 2 and then reverse and then just drive over the finish line again, that doesn't count as finishing another lap. You have to go through the set markers on the map in order to do that. And on Crumble Volcano, those markers are wide. So doing that trick in the middle where you have to go a little bit slower hits all of those checkpoints in the correct way that it counts as a lap for the next time you go through it.
Yeah.
And that's why that kind of stuff works. And that's the part of speedrunning I'm really into, where it's really like understanding and analytical and blah 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 nerd shit.
Yeah. But that's more of like, they look into the game's source code and they find out that that's possible.
Sometimes it's really just like running into a brick wall head first 20 times. Just do that small lap over and over again until you figure out how small it gets before you can get that lap.
Yeah. That's kind of how Mario Kart 64 worked. But that's also,
Protest all you want. You appear to be outnumbered.
that's also like clipping through the wall and the ground. So, yeah.
I don't remember a Mario Kart map where you have to like flip through the ground or walls or something.
The jungle.
A perimeter. I don't want
They...
surprises. We have little time before the
There's like something that lets them do a super bounce, so they go back to the beginning while hitting all the checkpoints. And, then once they get back to the start, they do that. No, they fall off the map. It puts them at the last checkpoint, and then they go through, and then they like clip through the wall and fall out of bounds, and it puts them at that last checkpoint again.
Oh, Takaloo? Lakitu manipulation. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big part of a lot of speedruns as well.
Yeah. Can you stop dying? You've been sick for like 3 months now.
3 months now.
Or- Skip it.
Yeah,
What's the last panel of that story you were reading?
I don't want to.
I do.
So, oh god, is there any other kind of speedrun that we're forgetting about? Pokemon, Mario, Metroid.
Zelda.
Oh, right, Zelda. Do you want to talk about Ocarina of Time? Bad gameplay? Or do you want to talk about Hero of Time? Trying to get the Master Sword as fast as possible through exploiting? Or trying to, like, have the stick start rotating or whatever that is?
Most of the... Okay. The ones that come to mind for me are, like, you do the, like, dance after you kill Goma, and that lets you warp all the way to Ganondorf. Holy shit. And then there's, like what ZFG does, where he does stale reference manipulation, or what the fuck ever it's called, where he just opens a chest 20 times and gets all of the items. I think they're both neat in their own sense, but I like, full gameplay. I like them going through the game. Either 100% no glitches, glitchless, not glitchless, versus glitched. But some games are like really long for that. Actually, I've been wanting to speedrun Xenoblade. Because even with New Game Plus and skipping cutscenes, it still takes a couple of hours. And I think that's cool.
Would you like to describe to us what the difference between glitchless, full glitch, and that kind of stuff is?
Glitchless is no glitches whatsoever. And I think that also means no exploits. There's obviously the Mirror's Edge thing that we were memeing about, that everyone memes about, where it's like, well, it's not glitchless, it's more like glitchless, where they're like doing wall jumps to get to places that they're not supposed to, and they're air kicking so they don't take fall damage, things like that. Those are obviously glitches, but the community decided not to consider them that, so that they could still have, you know, cool fun
That video will be posted either as a pinned comment or in the description, depending on whatever we feel like.
It'll be in the description.
It'll be in the
I'll
description.
Definitely remember.
Definitely.
Message me so I don't forget, please.
Uh-huh.
Then there's... What was the other one that you wanted me to explain?
Glitchless, glitchless, and like full glitches.
Oh,
100%.
right. No major exploits is one of them. Or no major glitches. So, like in Twilight Princess, for example, you know, you can do the glitch to give you infinite bombs and arrows, but you can't do the, like, skip to get the Master Sword before you get even your first sword.
Yeah.
Things like that. And I'm so sorry, I'm blanking. What was the last one?
Just 100% glitch.
Oh, 100% glitch would be like SRM scale reference manipulation, like ZFG does. Or there's just like true 100% where it's just playing through the game. We missed the lift.
We missed the lift. Oh, Power Wash Simulator speedruns.
I've never watched one.
Okay. What do you think of the concept?
Yeah, I think it's neat. I'm hoping that it's not like, hey, I have a maxed out kit and now I'm just going to play through every level with that. I don't think that would be very entertaining. Because it's just, oh yeah, you can stand, 100 feet away and just spray everything and be done in the level in like 5 seconds. I don't think that's interesting. But, yeah, I think we should check that out.
Yeah. Alright. I think that's all the speedrunning talk over with. Now it's time for challenge runs. So, can you try to describe the difference between a challenge run and a speed run?
No.
Okay, so the difference between a speed run most of the time and a challenge run, because some challenge runs are speed runs, but not all challenge runs are speed runs. So like, a speed run generally just means get to the credits of the game or get to the finale of the game, whereas a challenge run could be something like, how did the first person to get to the Master Sword in Legend of Zelda, rather than beating Ganon. It's just, what manipulations can you do to get to the Master Sword, stuff like that. Who can get to sex fastest and fall out, that kind of thing. And then there's also some stuff like Call of Duty Zombies, as we were talking about, where you effectively just beat the Easter egg in the least amount of rounds or the least amount of time possible. I think I prefer challenge runs to speed runs, because most of the time in a challenge run, it's a lot more methodical and you have to like have certain steps to do things, whereas a lot of speed runs are just kind of glitch through the wall and be done.
So you want like the different categories? Like
different categories and also specific kinds of challenge runs.
Yeah.
Like, can you beat the game without taking any damage in Borderlands? Where like your health bar is set to 1, so anytime you take damage, you have to restart the entire game, and you have to speedrun the game like that.
Are they actually speedrunning it? Like,
Yeah.
Is it a category on speedrun.com?
I don't care about speedrun.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I kinda did something like that, and I'm bringing up Cavern of Dreams again, where I wanted to see, well, actually, myself and another person who actually, like, documented it, wanted to see just how far you could get in the game without any power-ups. If you have just the tail power-up, where you can whack stuff, you can get, I think, everything but, like, 3 or 4 eggs. Off the top of my head, I think there's only like 2 or 3 eggs you can get. Anyways, you really don't need gliding for most of the game either, because you can just super bounce.
What is super bouncing?
Super bouncing is, you can roll in the game, like baseline, and once you get the tail, what you can do is, well, you have either a side swipe when you're on the ground, or like an aerial swipe, like a circular one.
You whack your tail in a front flip.
Yeah, front flip, thank you. If you do that in the air right before you hit the ground, you get like a small boost forward. Like, you hop, essentially, and you use that to get over small gaps. But people found out if you roll, and you do the tail swipe, and unroll before you hit the ground, at certain angles you can just launch yourself up.
Your tail has a hitbox, and if the first thing to hit the ground is your hitbox, rather than your actual player model, you will bounce upwards.
Yeah. But you have to have a certain angle, because your tail is still connected to your body. So, whatever angle you are at, when your tail hits, affects, like, you'll either go straight up, you'll go diagonal, you can go, like, slightly up, you can go super high up, and people had to find out specific angles. A lot of people are able to just, like, roll and jump, and be able to know exactly where in the roll animation they are to get a jump while moving really fast. but there's like a setup to do it from standing still, which is what I
What's
mostly
the challenge run in this game that you're talking about?
The one that I did, because they also wanted to set up a randomizer, so they needed the logic of what you could get with only what stuff. It was where can you go and what can you get without, you know, the first power-up is the tail, second one is the horn, third one is wings to glide, and then the last one, once you get all the eggs, is full flight. So,
my best to tell you what happened.
yeah.
It started when
Okay.
they saw their king fall.
Yeah, that was the challenge run.
Oh,
The Horde hoped to pit us between their pursuing champions and the forces holding the ducks.
but can you do it without getting hit?
Count on the High Tinker. He gets
Yeah, because most of the game you want to avoid getting hit because it launches you backwards.
Jallywits showed up.
Those are my favorite kinds of challenge runs.
I mean, you can, well, okay, you want to avoid getting hit, but if you do get hit, you can just pause buffer, and that lets you,
World enlarger. Shrub.
that lets you not get knocked back. It's kind of
Signal
fun.
exploding sheet. Sheet of bolt charge.
What do you think of WoW leveling from like 1 to max level speedrunning?
Sounds very time consuming, but I'm sure there's like a path to go.
You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
We've watched multiple of them together. So
I do not remember this.
fair.
World enlarger.
I
Signal
wanted to
exploding
submit a suggestion for an alternate category of 1 to 10 without leaving the ship,
Sheet of bolt
because I
charge.
did that on a shaman,
Signal exploding sheet.
just killing the target dummies because those actually gave experience, and some people joined me. It was fun. It was funny.
Yeah, that is a challenge run.
Yeah. How do you feel about them?
They're my
apparently we
favorite
watched them.
kind of speedrun.
Okay.
Oh, not challenge runs specifically. You're talking about just like World of Warcraft speedruns. I mean, we play World of Warcraft a lot. Learning about like the speedrun strats helps me to figure out what enchantments are good for leveling, and also it helps me figure out what classes are like good at leveling fast, what classes are bad at it, and that's really funny to me.
Okay.
God. Oh, okay. We can talk about Meat Boy Tofu runs now.
Yeah.
So tell us about Meat Boy Tofu runs.
And you're the one that had the idea of it, so
You don't remember?
you have to. I don't know if the version of the game matters, but
Doesn't.
it has to be in like windowed mode, because every time you would drag the window, if you were moving, you would keep moving, even through walls. And that was the main way they did things, was just keep moving through walls and hope that everything is on the same plane as you.
And do you remember why that is?
What do you mean?
Do you remember why they have to like learn how to glitch themselves upwards?
Oh, because Tofu Boy can't jump or
Because
shit.
Tofu Boy can't jump, yeah. In a game where jumping is 90% of what you do, you're speed running the game with a character that can't jump.
Test all you
Yeah.
want.
So you have to learn these like incredible glitches in order to get anywhere.
The light of the Loa is always
Yeah.
Loa grants me strength.
We were following it when it like kind of first started, and as it's progressed, we've learned more and more. God. We were learning more and more about like what becomes possible and what isn't possible. Like, when the video first came out, there were a bunch of levels labeled green, which means they're completely doable. Levels where it's yellow, where it's probably doable, and they just don't have the skill to do it.
It was, like,
and red,
theoretical
where
or
it like red where it seems impossible. And every time a new video would come out, it would be like, all right, these yellow levels are now green, these red levels are now yellow, and some of these red levels have actually turned green.
Yeah.
And they kept going and going until eventually they actually beat the game.
Did they do the whole game?
I'm pretty sure we talked about them beating the whole game.
I
Could be
would
wrong.
like to check on that. That'd be interesting.
Okay. But yeah, that's some of the fun of a challenge run. It's just the community getting together and saying, this is impossible. Or is it? And then the Michael Vsauce music plays, and they, like, force themselves to bash their head into a wall for hours in a day for months.
Yeah.
Kind of like another challenge run that you're really into. Can you catch 2 of every shiny in every zone before you challenge the gym?
Oh! The guy that has the bot catching Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not 2 of every Pokemon. They want a shiny living deck, so it's 1 of every shiny. But if they don't have the means to evolve it yet, then they just need, you know, however many minus the blah blah blah.
Oh.
So, like, C-Dot, you know, you need 3 because it evolves all the way, but because they can't get the Leaf Stone yet, they only needed 2.
What do you think of that kind of challenge? Would you still consider that a speedrun, or would you
No.
consider that a different thing?
It's a different thing.
Okay.
Because technically they're timing it, but if you were to actually do it, there'd be ways to manipulate the RNG so that you could get it specifically when you want it, and just, you know, minimum encounters.
Rostacon's magic has turned
Purple Boy, living decks of shinies. Are there any other, like, year-long challenge runs you can think of?
Fuck, 100% in Animal Crossing without time skipping.
True.
There's one game where I think it takes like 3 months total because real time has to pass. I don't remember the name of the game, but I'm sure if I just googled like the longest speed runs, it would pop up.
100% in Breath of the Wild, because of the fact that, like, you can like 90% the game in like 4 hours, and then the Korok seeds.
Yeah.
Which take like 10 hours minimum, which is really funny. And then I think they got that time down to like 4 or 5 hours, right?
I had no idea. I do like that the reward is just cool.
We're entering the heart
That's the
of
joke.
Zaralor. Expect fierce resistance from Zandalari.
Only Breath of the Wild was a good game.
It's better than all the other
Keep
ones.
going. I'll catch you.
Hey-o.
I disagree. Why do you think Breath of the Wild is better than all the other Zelda games?
I think Legend of Zelda is about safe.
And you just don't want to elaborate on that?
Platformers are bad. And Legend of Zelda is just a platformer with extra steps.
Zelda,
Yeah.
not called Zelda.
Okay.
Most Zelda games are based more on like puzzle solving than platforming.
And then platforming is a puzzle.
Puzzle? Okay.
Most puzzles are just platforming with extra steps.
Okay, what Zelda game specifically has that?
All of them.
Which one specifically comes to mind?
Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Zelda
There's
3,
no
Zelda
jumping
4,
in Zelda. Okay,
Zelda
here's
5.
the
Struck a decisive blow.
Zelda 1 does not have any jumping in it. Jumping was not introduced until
Hey babe,
Ocarina of Time.
1 by 1 gap. You dash towards it, what happens?
Fall.
Oh, do you?
That's not jumping!
What do you mean? How do you get over a 1 by 1 gap?
You find a different way!
Really?
Yes!
Oh, I thought you jumped over it.
Not in Zelda 1!
Oh. Huh, I must be thinking of something else. Alright.
don't think there are walls in Zelda 1.
I could have sworn you jump into it.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking of Link's Awakening, yeah.
Oh.
Or the Oracle games.
King
Huh.
Rusticon of Zandalar.
Okay.
On behalf of
Zelda
the
2
Alliance and in the name of
was
King Anduin
a,
I hereby request your surrender.
Pick cough drop, damn.
You dare invade these sacred halls and demand that I turn my kingdom.
Continue.
Link to the
This has
Past?
nothing to do with it.
Zandalari built an empire that would enjoy
No, Link to the Past only had jumping down off of ledges.
while your
Oh yeah, auto jumping is bad as well.
How so?
I don't like it.
Do you think it's better when you can choose to jump? Okay, what about jumping side to side? Or doing a backflip? Those are jumping.
But
And you can
no, I
tell
just
the
said
game when to
auto
do it.
jumping is bad.
Okay,
Is
but
it the wolf game where you don't have a jump button? You just have to like run at an edge and then hope that it jumps you in the right direction?
yeah,
Yeah, that's bad.
that's also Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I hate that.
You can still control yourself in the air for the most part, but usually when you're jumping, like, it's a clear goal of what you need to jump for. It's just if you're, like, running at an angle or you're, you know, being weird about it, then you won't jump properly.
Heroes.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay,
That's why I don't like the games.
okay.
I think Breath of the Wild, outside of the crafting system, perfects everything about what people want Legend of Zelda to be, or what they say it is.
What about durability?
You genuinely just don't listen to a word I
You
say.
said the crafting system.
Oh, I meant durability, my bad.
Hmm. We watched that anime.
We sure did. Which has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Okay, well, if I don't say it now, I won't remember it.
Uh-huh.
left me alone in Vedas.
So you think the crafting system in Breath of the Wild is fine?
What? Yeah, it's just cooking and potions and shit. Why would I have a problem with that?
Because most of the recipes are hidden unless you either decipher what they mean from like posters on in the inns, or they tell you, and they only tell you like 2 of them, like the fire resistance.
The only thing I used the crafting system for was cooking food, and for that, I just used a hardy durian, because every time you use a hardy durian, it just maxes your health out and gives you the yellow hearts, and then you just figure out what foods give you the most yellow hearts when you mix them with a max durian. And then there was another food that gave you max stamina because it gave you yellow, and you just figure out the best way to get more yellow. I never once made a potion in Breath of the Wild. The only time I used a potion was to get the either fire resistance or heat resistance, so that I could go into the town on the volcano. Yeah. Outside of that, I never used one.
Yeah, I like my Zelda games to be more linear and have a like set goal instead of open world. I'm not saying that open world games are bad. I'm just saying I don't think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did it well. Anyways, we're kind of getting off topic.
We're talking about challenge runs. Zelda's a challenge run.
Okay.
Like, it's a challenge to get through it.
It's a challenge to get through Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You're absolutely correct.
Tears of the Kingdom, I haven't played it because I think it's like just a worse version of Breath of the Wild,
We
so
all
I'll
know.
agree with you there.
You haven't even played it. How can you say that? How
I
can you have an
literally-
opinion of something that you've never played?
I literally described to you the reasoning behind why I feel that way. I don't know what other questions you want to
Tears of the
ask.
Kingdom is literally just Breath of the Wild 2.0.
Yes, and I don't like the stuff that makes it a 2.0 rather than just Breath of the Wild.
It's the exact same.
Adding things to something doesn't make it better if the things you're adding, I believe, make it worse. The Sky Island stuff, I don't like it. The crafting system of like the planes and like mechs and stuff, I don't like. The new puzzles that involve the building stuff, I don't like. Yeah, the battery system, I don't like it. The mechs, I don't like it. Yeah, like I just don't like it.
Okay.
That's why I think it's a worse version of Breath of the Wild. Because Breath of the Wild was simple in the ways I wanted it to be simple and complex in the ways I wanted it to be complex. I like the complexity being in, like, figuring out the perfect times to dodge so you can do the flurry rush, rather than, how do I best go from this ledge that is up high to that thing over there? And then you just make like a flying machine. I don't like that.
So the stasis is better, where you chop down a tree and before it falls, you stasis it and then hit it a bunch of times and then use an arrow to put it in the direction you want and climbing on top of it. That's better.
No, I think that's bad. But in like,
But that's how all the speedruns do it.
I never speedran the game, so I don't care.
And also, the bullet time balance.
Yeah, I never used that, so I don't care about it either.
But you said that that's what you liked about the speedrun, or about the game.
What?
Okay.
When did I ever say bullet time bouncing was what I liked about Breath of the Wild?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is the last bit. Okay, I guess we'll get to realm hacks next time.
Yeah, that'll be a secret mouse she cool for next time.
Okay. Where are... Oh, you're right in front
Oh,
of me.
and I don't like the Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom. I hate that a lot. I much prefer the miasma and fighting the big boar thing rather than. Oh yeah, Ganon's just standing there. He's just kind of there.
Wow, spoilers.
It's just the mystery of it was neat, and then once you remove the mystery, it's just like, oh well, now we have to talk about the technology that we decided to expand on in a Warriors game for some reason. Also, I hate Warriors games. The only one that's good is One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 base game. Everything else is garbage. Hyrule Warriors, I think I only got... I'm thinking of Hyrule Warriors, right? What was the newest one with the robot stuff in it?
That was the second Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors 1. The only reason I got through that was because Agatha's a good character.
Yeah, I like
Outside
that
of
one.
I didn't like it.
I need to play it more. I still haven't played the new characters.
Alright, and that's the end of the podcast.
Yippee.
I feel like... I feel like we were on a bumpy road, and every time we hit a rock, it was horrible. But you know, outside of that, I think we did pretty well for how tired we are.
Yeah.
Champions.
Alright, well, ending spiel. Dance with me.
Remember to like, remember to comment, and remember to subscribe.
Alright. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.